It's an exciting new chapter at 10 Capital. Last week, my colleague Jake introduced our newest colleague, Dave Gordon. This week, I get the honor of introducing my new teammate, Adam Gelhausen. So I'm very excited to introduce our new co-chief investment officer here at 10 Capital, Adam Gelhausen. Adam joined us on January 1st. Thanks for agreeing to do this. I know you're not a guy who loves to be on camera, not that I would say I am either, but Adam brings a ton of talent to the firm, a lot of experience. To that end, maybe tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got in the industry.
Sure. I was born and raised in Spokane. I went to Washington State University and
Which we've forgiven you for.
was fortunate enough to kind of fall into an opportunity to work on the investment side by working for the university endowment, and was able to turn that into an opportunity on the East Coast, go work for a pretty large money manager out in Boston. So I was there for about 10 years.
Yeah, and Adam was the first student, I'll brag on his behalf, first student to get to manage part of the WSU endowment. And the company you're talking about on the East Coast was Wellington, who, for those of you who may not be familiar, huge player in our industry, sub-advises for Vanguard, The Hartford, obviously household names. What did you learn from your experience at Wellington?
Yeah, Wellington just, I think what really most impressed me about Wellington was just how thoughtful they are in their research process. What I learned there was to really take a long view on investing. I think it's easy, especially in the 21st century, to get caught up in short-term investing, and really just listen to some of the pillars in the industry, people that, ran some of the largest products in the world. So I think they really educated me not only on how to look at investments, but also how to approach clients, treat clients, companies, and really operate with a long-term perspective in this business.
So that's your institutional background, running funds. I know you, along with your, the team that you worked, ran a pretty big chunk of money there at Wellington. Then you went to what the industry calls the retail side, working with individual clients with an RIA out of California. Tell us what you learned from that experience.
Sure. I think the difference between institutional and retail is kind of the long-term versus short-term focus. I think the consultants industry really drives the institutional side, and sometimes that can take away from the core focus or the drive or what a portfolio manager is trying to achieve. On the retail side, I think clients really do, in general, take a long-term view to their portfolio, and they let ideas work. They go through market cycles, and really, it also allows you to connect with individuals whose money you're running. On the institutional side, it's a little faceless. You're not meeting the investors. You're usually meeting the heads of foundations and things like that. Right. So I think on the retail side, it allows you to really connect with people on an individual level and let them understand how you're investing. And I don't know, it feels a little more complete. It feels more, it kind of keeps you in touch and keeps you grounded on what you're doing and makes you understand kind of why you do it, and really work with a team and a client to kind of achieve the long-term results that they are looking for.
So why'd you join? I know why we wanted you, but why did you want to join 10 Capital?
Yeah, I think...
Be nice.
I think when you sit back and look at the landscape of financial advisory, especially the last 10 years have been hard to really understand who's skillful and who's lucky. And if I look at the process here, and optically speaking from the outside, every firm looks the same, right? Mm-hmm. But I think sitting down and learning what you guys are doing from a process perspective, I really felt like there was a process here and a construct here that would lead to bigger and better things. And I think what you're doing for clients on the advisory side and kind of augmenting that with a more detailed, a more thoughtful, and you guys are doing a great job on the investment side, but I think putting a little bit more of a sharper lens on it to really look at the constituents in the portfolio, look at the world of different investments, and really put these managers through their paces to make sure we're getting best-in-class managers running client money.
So that latter part, you're talking about really what you hope to further augment and bring out within the process.
Yeah, I think few firms have the resources to invest in a dedicated investment team. Usually an advisor does 5 or 6 different jobs, and I think the more, as firms that are successful grow, they invest in their firm and their resources and people to create more specialty around those individual jobs. I think this is an example of creating an investment team within a firm that allows us to just look at things in more detail and make sure we put a little more discerning eye on some of the investments that come across our desk.
Sure. Well, we're going to drag you every now and then. I know this is a point of ongoing negotiation on the camera. But in the meantime, until people get the pleasure of hearing from you again, what would your message for the average investor be today, whether it's something that's of the moment or just a principle that you think maybe needs a little bit more attention brought to it?
Yeah, I think in general, I think clients need to remember that process is typically the road to success. Make sure you're invested with a manager that has a process in place that dovetails with your own philosophy and that really you understand. That's probably the most important thing. Don't be complacent. That's a common and yet obvious piece of advice. Mm-hmm. And the last one is, I would say, don't confuse luck with skill. A 10-year bull market and 9-year plus bull market can lead to complacency, and we all remember the depths of 2008 when things can go badly. Make sure you're with a firm again that adopts a process and an approach that can help weather that storm, and it's not just simply relying on market growth into perpetuity to drive returns, because at the end of the day it does take a certain level of skill to know what not to invest in, not just what to invest in.
Right. Oh, that's great. Well, with that, we'll end it. I know some of our clients have already gotten the pleasure of getting Adam to share his insights on their situation with them, and the feedback has already been fantastic. We've got more exciting things coming down the road this year for our clients, but none too that'll be any bigger than the addition of the Gordons and Adam. Well, if you didn't get enough or would like to know more about Dave and Adam, we do have a podcast coming out. It's about 35 minutes where we got to dive a little bit deeper, and feel free to check that out again at Pulling Back the Curtain on iTunes. Thanks so much.
Thank you.